On the line now is a 2006 national champion and former University of Texas quarterback, Vince Young. Vince, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Oh, man, blessed to have you on. On the line with me as well is my co-host, Miss Yvonne Modick. So let's go ahead and get started.
Yes, sir.
All right.
What's going on?
Vince.
I'm excited for the show.
Same here. Sorry about the delay. I was at a MLK luncheon listening to a wonderful speech.
Okay,
no
wow,
worries.
I like that.
No worries. So let's get started. So you were born and raised in Houston, Texas. So tell us about the very serious accident you had at age 7 and the reason behind you choosing number 10.
When I got hit by a car?
Yes.
Yeah, I was was riding my bike, kind of excited about meeting a young lady, and wasn't paying attention and turned too fast, and got hit by a car when I was 6 or 7 years old. And funny, crazy part about that story, it turned out to be my teacher at school. So she was very sad and distraught a little bit about hitting one of her students, but overall she was there every day on bedside, making sure I was getting back to my strength and health. And the reason why I wear number 10, that's my mom's birthday, June 10th. So that's my sweetheart, the woman in my family, pretty much raised me, gave me a lot of whoopings, and got me into the young man who I am today.
Okay. Well, I mean, everybody talks about how, when they would turn on high school football and just the news that they would say Vince Young is the LeBron James in the state of Texas growing up in high school. So what are your thoughts on what many considered a prolific high school career?
Oh, man, it started from Little League football, from one of the good friends of mine named Dapper Coleman. He took me out to the Little League football team over there at Southwest Houston, and I was pretty much coming home every day and wasn't playing sports. It was just going outside and playing. And my mom was like, "Hey, man, you need to do something different than going outside playing and getting in trouble. You need to come be a part of a football team." So a friend of mine down the street took me to the Brentwood Dolphins, and that's when I kind of started playing football and just took off from there, man. And knowing I'm a Houstonian kid, knowing I'm from Texas, and knowing how Coach Ray Seals, the history of him, how much he engraved in me that I can be a leader and I can back a lot of people. I can bring a community together. I can keep peers out of trouble because they follow me around. So I just took pride of kind of changing my lifestyle into what was those kids that was pretty much a stat that you can hear about every day was pretty much strung out on drugs or doing something negative. And, from, listening to my family members and my coaches, they saying you can do something real special for the state of Texas as well as the city of Houston.
Oh, man, that's amazing. I love the fact that you give back to the community, and the community's pretty much made you and molded you into the great man that the great career that you've had, not only college, high school, and NFL career, but also just a great philanthropist that you are today. So, switching gears, what quarterback did you look up to while you were growing up?
Well, definitely Steve McNair, R.I.P. to my pops. His birthday coming up next month, February 14th, so looking forward to celebrating his birthday with family and friends and everybody. But definitely growing up, I had the opportunity from a friend of mine that I call my uncle. I went to school with Steve at Alcorn, and he was like, "Man, I wanted to take you somewhere to a football camp in Mississippi." And I was like, "Yeah," because I was doing a lot of football camps, so it kept me out of a lot of trouble when I was little. And he was like, "I want to take you to a camp in Mississippi." I was like, cool. So I didn't know where we was going, but I was like, hey, I want to get better as a quarterback and as an athlete. So, doing things like that in the summertime, it helps you get better. So he surprised me with one of my idols that I was looking up to, and it was Steve McNair. So I was very surprised, and I enjoyed his humbleness as an athlete. He was huge, very big. And looking at myself, I was a little skinny kid. And I'm looking like, man, I have to get that big just to play quarterback in the NFL. So, but he definitely inspired me to some of the things that made me who I am today. So I definitely would miss him and love his family and everybody else.
Yes, definitely. R.I.P. to Steve McNair. Now, what led you to choosing the University of Texas, and what impact did Mac Brown have on you on and off the field?
Well, one of the deals were, I didn't know where I was going, and it started off at the Army All-American Bowl game when I went down there for the All-Star game, and quite a few of the guys was already committed to Texas, and they was basically recruiting me right there, from the Larry Dibbles to the Rod Wrights to the Casey Studders to the Abel Hardy. These guys was in the All-American Bowl game with me, and I was like, I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to go down there and do a visit. I'm going to let you guys know I'm going to commit to it. So I went down and had a really, really good visit there. TJ Ford, a good friend of mine, was there, and he was playing that night and playing against Baylor. And he was like, hey, don't y'all forget, we have like the best quarterback that came out of Houston is here tonight. Make sure y'all show him some love. And they did that. They gave me a standing ovation, and it was kind of like sold from there. Everything I needed to see from a university standpoint, from a coaching staff, that Coach Brown even came to my neighborhood in the low poverty area, and we didn't have a lot of seats in the house for everybody to sit down. So we mostly, let the women in the house sit on the couches and everything, and me and Coach Brown sat on the floor, and that told me a lot about him as a human being. That, hey, man, it's not about everything else. He was a gentleman to my mom and them and my women and my family, and I'm very huge about respecting women. So to see him do that, he kind of sold me as well.
Man, that's outstanding. That is outstanding. That says a lot. And Mac Brown was an awesome coach. He took your game to newer heights throughout your college football career. But let's talk about that 2005-2006 season. The Longhorns were ranked number 2 all year. They started off preseason number 2 and held an undefeated record. This was also your All-American season where you also won the Davey O'Brien Trophy for the best quarterback. What did you enjoy the most about that season? Because to me, I felt like you made it look so easy on the field.
Well, I enjoyed the most about that season was, this family part of it. How we all got along with each other. How we worked in the off season and the summertime. The chemistry that we didn't care about what nobody said outside of our locker room. So everybody was saying this, saying that. We soft. Everybody had everything to say about us. But what I love about us, we stayed in one big family. So we worked hard. Our fans was it was just phenomenal time.
Okay.
It was a phenomenal time. So as well as we had the guys like KD there, Kevin Durant, we had a really great university at the time with all these type of guys doing really good things in sports. But one of the biggest things that we did on campus was we all hung out together and enjoyed each other as brothers and sisters.
Right, definitely. And everybody mentions the Rose Bowl game with USC. They had the 2 Heisman winners. Obviously, Texas was the underdog. How did you feel leading up to that game, and what motivated you to such a remarkable performance? Was it the Heisman Trophy and not winning that? What was the motivation behind it? Was it just, or people just calling y'all soft and basically doubting y'all?
Yeah, it was mostly the doubt part of it, and then losing the Heisman, and then the weeks up to the game when it was everything about USC and all the teams that were for them, the great teams at OU and all these different teams, and we was just the guys that wasn't supposed to be there, but we was there. I told a lot of the guys, like, y'all pay attention to all the stuff they're saying about us, and that you know that it's not true, and use it as motivation. So when we get on TV on that day of that game, make sure we show the whole world who we are, as a not just as a football team, but a state of Texas, how big football is in the state of Texas.
Definitely.
Oh man. So let's, Mr. Molly, I kind of want to, stray away a little bit from the list of questions, but that was considered one of the greater football games or college football games out there, actually of all time. Playing up against, like I said, two Heisman Trophy winners, talk me through the last 2 minutes when you finally got the ball, and what were you thinking? Like, what was your thought process? Like, did you have any doubts? Like, did you feel like, we can win this game? How did you feel? Like, take us through those last, take us through the fourth quarter, because that was amazing. That fourth quarter was something special. So go ahead.
Yeah, just focus. All about being focused. Knowing that we have been in that position a couple of times that season of coming back from behind, and we knew what we had to do. On that stage, it was big. Definitely, it was huge. But the biggest thing is staying focused. Don't try to try to be spectacular or do anything outside of your character. Stay into what we've been coached. And one of the things I can honestly say is we was coached very well. The preparation that our coaches have put into us preparing ourselves each week was awesome. And all we had to do is do what Coach them said and put a little bit of us in it. He didn't want us to be robots. He allowed us to have fun, enjoy life, playing the game of football, because it's a huge opportunity. So we had all that type of stuff going into our brains, going through that drive, because of the fact we have already, been doing it during the whole season. So definitely was nervous. I'm not going to sit there and lie. I was definitely nervous. You got guys like, our defensive team talking crap, talking noise to us. And then you got guys like Matthew McConaughey right in your ear and yelling at you as well. So it was definitely a nervous part for myself. But the biggest thing is, again, the coach did a really good job of preparing us, for that football game.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you saw. Sorry to cut you off, Jasper, but I'm sure you saw the Clemson-Alabama game. And after the game, Deshaun Watson, they asked him about that last drive, and he actually mentioned you. He said, growing up, I saw what Vince Young did against USC in a clutch performance, and I wanted to do something similar. So I just want to hear your thoughts on Deshaun Watson's performance in that national title game.
Yeah, that's my hero, man. I'm very proud of him. I said some things to him last year, knowing it was a tough game for him last year. But the biggest thing is you can tell how his offseason was. He was determined to be back there to win, and to see him on that at the end with the victory for his teammates as well as his university and that community. It was big, and it was awesome to see, and I was glad that he was very humble. He gave thanks to God, and he gave thanks to all his teammates and coaches and everybody who had a part of his life. So I was very proud of him, and I was very happy to hear him that he praised, gave me a little shout out, gave me a little love, and the same thing, it goes the same thing in things that I do. That it's somebody always paid the way for us, so we have to make sure we pay those guys respect, from the Steve McNair's, the Warren Moons, the Ronald Cunninghams, all the guys that gave us an opportunity to play that position, and continue to do some things to show the world that we can play that position, and we also can be outstanding quarterbacks as well. So I'm just happy he did that, and I'm very, very proud of him.
And that's awesome. That is great. So, comparison time. I would like to know, 2006 Rose Bowl, or the 2017 National Championship game? In your opinion, which one was the best? And this is a fan question. Shout out to Jason Triplett for this question. He would like to know, which, in your opinion, 2006 Rose Bowl or 2017 National Championship game?
Well, our game, because it was an outstanding game. But what I can say about the game this year, an outstanding game by both defensive guys, the two number 10s. Those two guys played their heart out. They put a lot of pressure on both of the quarterbacks. And this outstanding game from the defense standpoint. We're on our side at our game. We had a lot of excitement on the offense side of the ball when we played, from the Reggie Bush to Matt Leinart to Jarrett, Steve Smith, and then on our side we had Jamal Charles, myself, David Thomas, Sullivan Young. We had some outstanding offensive guys on both sides of the ball, and we had a pretty good defense as well. But I don't think our defense was like the Clemson and Alabama defense. They had a really good defense.
Okay.
Interesting. So sorry about that, little man. I don't want to be sounding cocky and big-headed, but I think our game was better.
It was. Okay. Well, you mentioned Steve McNair earlier. Tell us one thing that you learned from him that's most affected your life.
Well, the most thing is staying humble and kill people with kindness, the people that hate you. The media, that was one of the biggest things that I couldn't understand, that I just wanted to play football, but everything I did was always, perceived in a wrong way, that I was not that person that they were saying who I was, and things that was going on that they probably heard. So, one of the things I asked Pop, what do I supposed to do? And he just told me, kill them with kindness. Just go there every day and keep a smile on your face. And when Sunday comes, you can always make sure you can answer all their critics, all the questions on Sunday. So, and then he always says, stay humble. Take the time out to say hello to your fans.
Okay. So, question. How did you feel when you were drafted third overall in the 2006?
I'm out here speaking and doing the same.
Say it again?
Still doing the same. I say still doing the same. I'm in the educational field on campus now in UT, so I speak to a lot of kids and in the community or in my foundation. I speak all the time to kids about staying humble and don't forget where you come from.
Okay.
Definitely.
My apologies, Vince. So,
no, you good.
So, how did you feel when you were drafted third overall in the 2006 NFL draft? Like, what were your feelings going into that draft, as well as being selected third overall by the Tennessee Titans?
Very humble for one, and it was a dream come true. When you that kid and you've been playing football since Little League, you again being in the draft for one, and being on the cover of Madden, and all those things came true for me. So I was just very humble and thankful for everybody who's had a part of my life to help me get there. From my high school coaches, from my Little League coaches, from my university, from Coach Brown, and my family that kept me out of trouble and kept me humble. It was a dream come true for my community, because it was only myself and Moran Norris, big-time fullback, running back, that played in the NFL for the 49ers. We were the only two that came out of our area in football. So we had a lot of great talent came through our community that should have been playing in the NFL as well, but we knew that we was representing not only ourselves and our family, but we was representing the whole state of Texas and the community, and a lot of great guys that came through were playing sports. So I was staying humble and just wanted to continue to keep my dream alive and doing some more great things. And my career kind of was a little short, but at the same time, I feel like I still accomplished a lot of different things for myself, my family, and my community in the state of Texas.
Definitely. Now, we've got the AFC and NFC title game. Speaking of the NFL this weekend, I just want to hear your thoughts real quick. Who wins this weekend? Who's going to play in the Super Bowl?
Oh man, I think Big Ben and them going to go this year. It's going to be a tough game. I say that because I have a lot of respect for Tom Brady. I know he wants to go because what they did to him made him sit out a couple of games.
Right.
But I see that he's a little banged up. Not him, but the guys he has to play around with. The guys are really banged up out there, and it's kind of tough to win and go further when you got injuries. And I just know Big Ben. I feel like the guys he has around him, from that guy Antonio Brown, that guy. I wish I had opportunity to play with him. And that running back he has, Bell over there, and then the defense he has. I really feel like this is his time. He's been waiting on it since I came out that year, and I went to actually see him play when he played in Detroit for the Super Bowl and ended up winning that game. I know he's been working hard and been fighting for that. So I think Pittsburgh and I think Green Bay would be there. And I had opportunity to play in Green Bay, so I already know how Aaron Rodgers feels. He's a little banged up over there as well, but I think it'll be Green Bay and Pittsburgh.
Oh,
okay.
man. Now, speaking, I got to know. I got to know. 2 questions. One, what was it like playing with Aaron Rodgers, having Aaron Rodgers as a teammate? And in your opinion, and this is going to be pretty funny, do you believe that Aaron Rodgers is the baddest man in the planet?
I know he has a great arm. I know that much. The way he throws the ball is unheard of. I mean, he can throw the ball on the run. I mean, he's phenomenal the way he sits in the pocket, and he plays around with the defensive line. He feels his offensive line going to make that block. The guys over there love him. I mean, I had the opportunity to be there. I mean, me and him had a good time just talking about, when California was supposed to go to the Rose Bowl, and we ended up going over them that year. We had a good time talking about that, but overall, I really feel like he's a really good dude, and he's a really good quarterback. He has a talent around him. One of the things that I wish I had was a coach that was behind me this way as Coach McCarthy is behind him. When you have that, sky's the limit for you. So that's awesome to see, man. I'm very proud of him. I'm proud that I had the opportunity to play with him. And I'm proud that I had the opportunity to be at Green Bay for a while with the great fans out there that they have and a great organization as well. So, but the baddest man on the planet, I don't know about that. The baddest man on the planet to me right now is out of LeBron James and Kevin Durant or that guy Curry. Them three guys right there is unbelievable.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I like it.
Now, I just want to ask about Texas real quick. We know about what happened the last couple of years with Charlie Strong. Now, Tom Herman is in there. Do you think Tom Herman is the right guy to get Texas back into the championship conversation?
Well, he has to. I mean, it don't matter what coach it is. I mean, again, like I said earlier, it's Texas football. And I feel like Tom is doing a really good job since he's been here. I had the opportunity to spend some time with him as well. One of the things I really love what he's doing is opening up his arms to all the high school Texas football teams here, and letting them know this is their home. This is where they need to go to school at. That's something we have been missing. A lot of our guys have been going all over the place. Texas football players, especially as the quarterback, you see all the Texas quarterbacks. They all over the place, but where they need to be at. So. I really feel like Tom is doing a good job so far. He has built a really great coaching staff, as well as administration staff as well. So I feel like it's going in the right direction. And again, a lot of people don't understand and tends to forget. It's not about the coach; it's the players. So they got to take an initiative and say, "Hey, coach, we're playing for you." And just, that's what we got to get back to in Texas football. We got to get back to really working hard in the off season and taking a lot of pressure off our coaches, our head coaches, and put some pressure on ourselves and say, hey, this is our football team. Let's go win some footballs for our coach and for our university.
Okay, awesome. So, Vince, talk to us about your philanthropy efforts to include the Vince Young Foundation.
Yeah, man, we've been around for 11 years now. So my mom and I started. Me and my mom started in 2006. We started off with incarcerated families. My mom was strung out on drugs for a long time until she got cleaned up and sobered up. And then we think about education. One of the things that I feel like a lot of people don't understand as what's hurting our community is the education, not to know how to read and things like that, but to the point of they just don't know. A lot of people just don't know, certain things that goes on in the world from the business aspect or anything, or how to apply to college. A lot of people just don't know, and they calling our kids dumb. They're not dumb, they just don't know. And once our world can get to the point of understanding that, I really feel like myself, my foundation, a lot of people across the world, we continue to let people know that our kids are not dumb. They just need to be educated on how to do it and the proper way of doing things. So I feel like my foundation, we have an opportunity to partner with the NFL for the Super Bowl this year, and we're going to do some really, really good things in the community of Houston. So I just appreciate y'all taking the time to interview me and talk to me about that, because that's something I'm very passionate about, is giving back to the community and making sure that our young men and young ladies have the same opportunity as any other kid in the world or anybody in the world that do have the education to do some things in the world. So some of the kids that don't have it, I want to make sure that they do have the information and education to do it.
Okay. Well, Vince, real quick, I have one last question for you. So for any kid or aspiring quarterback out there that wants to take their talents to the next level, what advice do you give those young kids or even college kids?
Biggest thing is stay humble. Know why you're there. Just to remember to know why you're there. You definitely might get distracted about some things. Just know why you went to college or why you want to go to the NFL. You want to make a better way for your family. If you're a first-generation kid like myself, you can do some things to see, like myself, seeing my son excited in school. He has the opportunity to go to college. My mom has graduated now. My sisters has graduated now. So just stay humble and understand and know what you're doing it for. You're not just doing it just for yourself. You represent a whole entire community, family, everybody. Know what you're doing it for, and just keep striving. Don't quit on yourself. It's going to be okay. Just keep going.
I love it. I definitely love it. Words to definitely take heed to. So do you have any closing thoughts? If you want anyone to follow your foundation or Twitter handles, here's your opportunity to, let everyone know.
I appreciate it. Well, Twitter is 10 Vince Young. Instagram is VPY Jr. Facebook is Vincent Paul Young Jr. Continue to follow the Vince Young Foundation to give back to the community. And there's a lot of great things going on in the venture world. You don't have to be successful in football or sports. Use that for people to know who you are, to continue to represent yourself and your family. But there's a lot of great things out there in the future for you, because you're not going to be 23 or 24 all your life. You're going to be 33 like myself. You're going to be 40. You're going to be 50. So what are you doing in your life to make sure that not only you and your family are good, what are you doing for your community? And everybody has came into the presence of your life. What are you doing to help others? So remember that, and be blessed.
Oh, man. Mr. Box Office, you have anything from Mr. Young?
Nothing except thank you for taking time of your day and hook 'em horns.
No problem. Thanks for the interview. Hook 'em horns too.
Oh yeah. So you're talking to a fellow. You're talking to a guy that loves Texas, everything, all things Texas. I definitely want to thank you for coming on. To do this special interview with us. Much success to you in life moving forward. And for everybody that's listening to this, make sure you download the app NBS Central, where you can listen to this interview as well as all the NBS Central content and other interviews. With that being said, for Mr. Box Office Yvonne Modic and Vince Young, I am Mr. Franchise signing off. Peace.
Peace. Thank you. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.